What women crave in bed is rarely spoken out loud. Many keep it hidden, not because it is shameful, but because it is deeply vulnerable. To reveal these cravings is to reveal the rawest part of their humanity. It is not simply about physical touch, nor about grand performance. It is about the deeper dimensions of psychology, connection, and trust. When a woman opens herself intimately, she is offering more than her body. She is offering her spirit. And to receive that gift requires something greater than desire alone. It requires presence. A woman may not say it, but what she truly craves is to feel safe. Not just safe in the obvious physical sense, but safe in the quiet corners of her heart. Safe to express herself fully, without fear of judgment. Safe to release her guard and step into her softness. The Stoics taught that strength is proven through calmness, and in intimacy, this truth holds firm. A man who is hurried, impatient, or careless may succeed in taking, but he will never succeed in inspiring surrender. Surrender only flows when safety has been built. A woman craves to be with a man who can hold space without rushing, without demanding, without placing his ego above her comfort. When she feels that steadiness, she lets go. Yet safety alone is not enough. What she longs for next is presence. So many men approach intimacy as a performance, as if the goal is to demonstrate skill or technique. But women are not stirred by rehearsed patterns. They are moved by attention. Presence is when a man's focus narrows into this single moment, where she feels like the only person alive in his world. It is in the way his eyes meet hers without distraction, the way his hands linger without urgency, the way he listens not just to her words, but to her breathing, her silences, her subtle changes. Women crave presence because it is the proof of genuine desire. Without it, touch feels empty. With it, every gesture becomes meaningful. Patience is another hidden craving, though few will admit it aloud. Intimacy for many women is not a race toward release, but a journey into depth. They want to linger in the slow build, to feel anticipation stretch across time until desire becomes undeniable. Patience is the art of teasing the mind as much as the body, allowing each step to ripen before moving forward. In modern life, so much is rushed: work, conversations, even meals. But intimacy, when done well, resists this rushing. What women crave is a man who does not see slowness as weakness, but as strength. A man who can enjoy the unfolding as much as the arrival. This patience transforms moments into experiences, and experiences into memories. Beneath patience lies another truth. Women crave authenticity. The greatest mistake men make is trying to be someone they are not, believing that borrowed lines or manufactured moves can replace genuine expression. Authenticity cannot be faked. It lives in the small details, the kiss that arises spontaneously, not because it was rehearsed, the touch that flows naturally, not because it was planned. Women long for honesty in intimacy, for the certainty that what is given to them comes not from strategy, but from truth. A man who is unashamed of his desire, who does not hide behind performance but reveals himself as he is, unlocks the same honesty in her. In this shared authenticity, barriers dissolve. What women also crave, though rarely confess, is a balance of strength and tenderness. It is a paradox of intimacy. They want to feel your power, yet they also want to feel your care. Too much aggression, and she feels unsafe. Too much softness, and she feels uninspired. The harmony lies in combining both. Firmness in how you hold her, gentleness in how you guide her. Confidence in your movement, humility in your listening. This balance reassures her that your strength is not a threat, but a shelter. It is not domination she craves, but the experience of letting go into a presence strong enough to carry both her vulnerability and her passion. Another hidden desire is for connection that extends beyond the body. Women crave intimacy that speaks to the soul. This is why words matter, not empty compliments, but meaningful reflections. They crave to be known, to be understood beyond the surface. When a man can ask questions that touch her inner world, when he can listen not only to what she says but to what she struggles to say, intimacy transcends the physical. Psychology calls this self-disclosure, the mutual sharing of truths that create emotional closeness. In bed, it means she is not only touched physically, but emotionally and mentally. And when all three align, desire becomes more than passion. It becomes unity. Women also crave a man who is unshaken by rejection. This is perhaps one of the deepest psychological truths. If you cannot respect her no, you do not deserve her yes. Pressure kills desire, but acceptance nurtures it. The Stoics taught that peace lies in accepting what is outside our control. Her readiness, her timing, her mood, all of this is hers, not yours. The man who can receive her no without anger or sulking communicates strength. Ironically, it is that strength that makes her want to return with a deeper yes. Women rarely admit this, but they crave the security of knowing they will not be punished for saying no. That freedom to choose is what makes their yes meaningful. There is also the craving for mystery. Women may not say it aloud, but intimacy that is predictable quickly loses its power. They crave novelty, surprise, the sense that each encounter is fresh, not novelty in the form of tricks, but novelty in the form of presence. Because when a man is truly present, no two moments feel the same. Mystery lives in spontaneity, in breaking patterns, in allowing desire to take unexpected forms. This mystery keeps the flame alive, and it is one of the silent cravings women hold but rarely voice. Women crave depth over conquest. To many men, intimacy is about reaching an endpoint, a conclusion. But for women, intimacy is often about immersion. They crave to be drawn into a space where time disappears, where they are not being rushed to finish but encouraged to feel. This depth requires a man who can lose himself in the moment without losing control. A man who is not obsessed with outcomes but devoted to the process. The Stoics taught that virtue lies not in what you achieve, but in how you live. In the same way, the fulfillment of intimacy lies not in what is completed, but in how it is lived. Another craving is surrender. Though it is rarely admitted, many women desire the experience of letting go completely. But surrender is not given lightly. It must be earned. A woman will only surrender to a man she trusts. Surrender is the deepest form of intimacy because it requires her to hand over control, not in fear, but in confidence. She craves to be guided, but only when she knows that guidance is grounded in care. For this reason, women crave men who are steady in themselves. If you cannot govern your own emotions, how can you be trusted to guide hers? Her deepest yes is unlocked when she feels that your strength is not reckless but reliable. What women crave is not just pleasure, but meaning. Intimacy, at its highest form, is not about lust alone. It is about communion, the merging of two beings in body, mind, and spirit. She craves to feel that her yes is more than an act. It is an offering. And she longs for a man who will receive it not with entitlement, but with reverence. When you treat intimacy as sacred, she experiences it as profound. This is why women rarely confess their cravings openly. They want to be with a man who discovers them not through questioning, but through attunement. In truth, all these cravings, safety, presence, patience, authenticity, strength, tenderness, mystery, surrender, and meaning, circle back to one thing: self-mastery. The man who cannot master himself will never be able to hold her desires. He will rush when he should wait. He will pressure when he should release. He will perform when he should connect. But the man who has mastered himself, who lives in calm, who respects boundaries, who embodies patience, this is the man she craves in silence. What women crave in bed but rarely admit is not perfection. They do not need flawless skill or impossible endurance. What they crave is honesty. They crave to feel seen. They crave to feel safe. They crave to be guided by strength that does not harm, but heals. They crave the freedom to let go in the arms of someone who will not drop them. And above all, they crave intimacy that feels real. The Stoics remind us that the only true control we have is over ourselves. Intimacy is no exception. You cannot control her readiness. You cannot control her cravings. But you can control your presence, your patience, your respect, your composure. And when you do, you create the conditions in which she naturally, willingly, and joyfully says yes. Her yes, then, is not a prize you won, but a gift she chose to give. And that gift, born of trust and desire, is worth infinitely more than anything you could ever try to force. In the end, what women crave is simple but profound. They crave the man who embodies steadiness in a world of chaos. They crave the one who sees them, not just their body. They crave the one who can hold their vulnerability without fear. They crave intimacy that transcends mechanics, reaching into the timeless truth that two souls, when aligned, create a fire that needs no words. This fire cannot be begged for, bargained for, or taken. It can only be inspired. And the man who inspires it does so not by chasing, but by becoming.